What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 8th day of November. Here we are at about $0.003 right now with 5 hours and 55 minutes left in the day. Everything is red, almost everything at least. Here we are at the base of this range here. Still consolidating, right? A lot of cryptos kind of look like this actually since the 3rd of November. Just consolidating. I think it's fine, right? I'm not worried about the price action at all. Could we go lower? Is this the low? I believe this is the low, but again, if we go lower, I wouldn't be too concerned. From a low to a high, I would start to get concerned if we start closing days below 0.0256. Until then, whatever, who cares? We're going to move up. That's the thought, you know what I mean? Regardless of what we do down here, we're just getting set up to move higher. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. Let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out from there. And yeah, let's get going. Okay, so here we are on the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. Looking at our indicators. The RSI is neutral, very neutral. Bearish tilt right now, so you could come down a little bit. The stochastics have a little bit of a positive look to them, to be fair. And the MACD is useless. It's completely useless, actually, so it's not going to help us out there. There is a chance that we do hold this area for support, but what we need to see is a 1 hour time frame that closes above about 0.0315. If you can get a 1 hour time frame that closes above there, then we validate that we are in fact that this is a higher low and that we are in fact moving higher. We'll likely see the price recover to something that's above 0.035 or 0.036 over the coming days. Should we get above 0.0315 on an hourly closing basis or a higher time frames closing basis, okay? Could we move lower from here? Sure. Let's actually look at that. From a low here to a high here, we do have higher lows, but we also have lower highs. Golden ratio bounce, 382, back to the golden ratio for support. Man, this is a good look. This is a really good look, actually. I will say it looks better as long as we're closing above 0.003. If we start closing below 0.003, then maybe we do go lower. I would say, you know, to the upward effect, 0.0315, closing above there is positive. Closing below 0.03 is negative, okay? It would likely imply lower prices. That doesn't mean that we go lower than this, but lower prices than where we are now. Lower prices than even this low here. Maybe somewhere around 0.0275 to 0.029, somewhere in that range. If we get a 1 hour time frame to close below 0.03. We can go below 0.003. We just don't want to close below 0.003, okay? 4 hour time frame, zooming out a little bit. Looking at the MACD. The MACD is positive enough. I mean, overall, it's bearish. It is bearish, let's be fair. Stochastics, getting tied up at the 50. I don't like that. I'd like it if you cross back up and move higher, but maybe you do come down. Maybe we do get some kind of a double bottom or a slightly, you know, we break out of this trend. As soon as you break it, then that's when we find support. You know, looking at the 4 hour time frame, I really am starting to think that we could see something like that. The RSI is also beat up, so I suppose it's appropriate to call for lower prices. What might we expect to see then? Right, from a high or a low to a high here. Let's actually look at this. Then I also want to look at the overall high to low as well. High to low here. Curious to see. Yeah. I would think if we go lower than this low, than what we put in on the 4th of November, the lowest we go to is 0.0256. Perhaps we're not going to see a lower low. Perhaps we get some kind of double bottom or a higher low still, but I do think we'll break out of this to the downside. Do we go lower than this low? I'm not decided. Do we go lower than this low? I'm not decided. I just think that we will break this trend line. We could find support right in between at like 0.0298. We could find support all the way down at 0.028 or even down at 0.0256. It's hard to say. But from what I'm gathering on the 4 hour time frame, it makes sense to me that we go a little bit lower. That's my thoughts. It looks like we want to go lower. We are getting some signals of turning around overall, but just bearish, man. You have opportunities to show strength and you're not doing it, so you probably go a little bit lower, and that's okay. Daily time frame bouncing off the oversold zone's good. Stochastics look bearish. The MACD is forming bullish divergence in all fairness, but again, we could go lower and still form that bullish divergence. Overall, looking at the daily time frame here, looking at the weekly time frame here, Zebec might see slightly lower lows. Perhaps this is the low, perhaps it's not, but just we're probably going to find support somewhere in this area altogether. I do think that we're inside of a very nice consolidation phase up here dating back to May of this year, and we will break out to the upside. I think it will prevail to the upside. So with that being said, if I'm wrong, let's actually talk about what would happen if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong and we break out to the downside, we might see prices that are as low as 00225, 0017, 0014. That'd be a dramatic drop from here. You know, even the minimum target would be a implied 25% or more drop, right? I don't think that we do that though. If we break out to the upside, which is what I am expecting that we'll do, we should see prices somewhere around by the end of this year, somewhere around 3 cents to 8 cents, somewhere at 3 cents to 8 cents. That's the expectation. I'm personally thinking more 4.5 cents to 8 cents, but 3 cents to 8 cents to be appropriate by the end of the year. Perhaps even, I should say, by the end of this next move. Let's not put a time frame on it. Let's just say by the end of this move, we'll be here. I think this move could end in January. So again, that's why I'm saying instead of the end of the year, let's just say by the end of the move, because maybe by the end of the year you're here, but this move progresses into January and you're up here at this level. I very much do expect that this next move, whenever it ends, I do expect personally that you'll see 4.5 cents to 7.9 cents, somewhere in that range, with a given minimum of 3 cents, right? 3 cents at a bare ass minimum, man. But you're probably going to see something at 4.5 cents or higher. That's my guess. And if not by the end of the year, then certainly sometime in January. That's my expectation. We'll probably consolidate from there, going into February, March, and then April, May, we'll start to rally. We'll have our cycle ending finale, where we reach for, you know, prices that are, I think, above 14 cents, possibly around 50 to 40 cents or higher by the end of the cycle. But that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, I was going to say hit the like button again, but I've already said that. I'm on autopilot. Take care of yourselves. Drink some water, get some sleep. Lay off the grass. Take care. Bye-bye.